Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As compliant with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of PL 1975, and the privilege of this meeting has been provided the following. The name of those recorded in Asbury for the press, the postscript, our ledger of January 22nd, 2024, posted on bulletin board at the same day. All notices are on file with the city clerk. We're now on special event applications for our reading director.
Good evening, Mayor and Councils. The 5 applications before you this evening, there were 3 new requests, including the Bobby Brown pop-up, which is Bobby Brown, the makeup artist. That was Interfaith Neighbors March Center, their anniversary celebration, and the Asbury Park Lifeguard Tournament, which will be held tomorrow because of the potential bad weather. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Turn now welcome back to the City Council. Councilmember Les Anderson.
No.
Thank you. Councilmember Cap.
Thank you.
Councilmember Clayton. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
I was just going to bring up Family Day at the Beach. It's this Saturday, free surfing lessons, food, and such. People can get out to do eat that beach for Family Day at the Beach.
Nothing better. Back to the city manager. Back to the city attorney. Yes, nothing this time. We're now in public participation. I have a motion to open the meeting to the public. All in favor? The public participation portion of the meeting is now open. Any members of the public who wish to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and there will be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker.
Clarification, will we have public
You gotta go back to the microphone.
in the Donald Mercy Center, 1106 Main Street, Asbury Park? I just want to question is, when we have the public hearing on the second reading of the ordinance, will we have a chance to speak or should we do it now? Just wanted to clarify. Thank you. But if you want to talk, sir, you got to go to the microphone. Yep. Sorry.
Good evening, Council. I've lived in Asbury Park for 40 years. I now have a business at 583 Banks. My name is Richard Rogolski. Again, my family's lived here a long time. I now have a business at 518 Banks. I'm addressing the fact that the city has addressed what is the problem, and I wanted to speak to council about it because what's been done is great, and we need more done. There's been a bit of clamoring about it. So what happened is on the corner of Bangs and Emery, on Thursdays and Fridays, the streets are taken hostage by large trucks, 18-wheelers. They park double. I'm approaching it not just because of my business, but from a safety standpoint. My degrees in fire safety and management. So I watch out for my business, and when I see trucks double, triple parked, and within the past couple of weeks, there's been a couple accidents right at that corner because people can't get around in that area. So I approached it through the officers in town, a couple that I know. So recently they squared off purple parking spaces for a loading zone. There's been so much clamoring about it and people coming into my business and talk to me about it. And I didn't think anything would happen when I was coming to talk to you. So I will say this, that I have people who have been delivering to Asbury Park for years coming to me stating how great it is that they actually have a place to pull their truck that's safe. There's other business people who are call it mad because they say we're taking away 2 parking spaces. I don't see those spaces being used by anybody for the businesses. I park 5 blocks away. Anybody using the businesses even have to park farther away, you know, I have a permit. So I wanted to be clear on this is that I'm going to try to press forward with trying to have more on that corner. We did one set of parking spaces, and if the corners were marked and colored, and people could pull up with their trucks and safely deliver things, it would help out everyone. So I actually came here because I thought there were people that were against this that were going to show up. So I just want to let you know that minus me really complaining about anything, that we're moving in the right direction. And I plan on coming up with some type of presentation involving maps and where they might be able to put other places like this. Because again, safety first. I don't want anybody to die on these corners. I saw a lady with a dog almost get run over. I'm the EMT and a firefighter, almost got hired in town. So safety first. Thank you for your time. I got 4 seconds. You guys have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm going to say, instead of, you may want to go to the parking committee meeting, which is the first Wednesday of the month at 5:30 in this building, and I'm going to see, it's the 7th, Jake?
Want me to go?
Yes.
So August 7th, in this building at 5:30 p.m. So if you have your map and everything, it would be a good place to start with, because that's basically where this started.
The transportation director has spoken to me directly, me and so August 7th, 5:30.
August 7th, 5:30, right in this building, yeah.
Thank you for your,
Transportation.
Oh, that's the phone, yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yep.
Hi,
Uh,
Carrie Bush, 500 Deer Lake Drive. I want to say thank you. We've been getting the police blotter and we've been publishing it in the Asbury Park report. So thank you, thumbs up. Thank you to the administration. I also want to ask a question about this CCRB. So can you tell me a little bit about that process, or tell everybody about that process, where we're at, and if we're going to be getting a CCRB in the very near future, because it's been over 4 years that we've been talking about it and studying it. So where are we on that?
I'll take part of it and then Yvonne can, hopefully. So we formed an equity committee. I'm gonna be wrong on these years. Maybe 2 years ago, maybe longer than that, COVID is a blur. The equity committee came up with, again, I'm gonna say 10 recommendations. The number one recommendation was CCRB, and maybe eight or 9 other recommendations. Of those recommendations, I'm gonna say we implemented 7, including hiring a social worker to go out with police and more coordination there. We started the draft of a CCRB and then got partway through this draft, and then I'm gonna say this and then Fred can stop me. We had the prosecutor's office involved in the goings-on in our police department, and they asked us to sort of stall, to not work on this while they were doing whatever investigation they were doing. That investigation concluded within the last month or 2. So or maybe 2 or 3 months, we went back to the draft. The draft has gotten through part of the committee. It's gotten through Fred. It's gotten through, but it has not gotten through the prosecutor's office, and it has not gotten through the police department yet for feedback. I'm not saying that we're going to do what they say, but we did want to offer them both an opportunity for feedback, so we had buy-in. So it's going, but there was a lengthy delay as a result of some going on.
Okay, just as a follow-up question, on the agenda for the executive committee is a discussion of a public safety director. And can you talk to it looks like you're considering a public safety director. Can you talk to where you're at in the process?
Well, that I'm gonna bunt to Fred.
Right now, any discussions are entirely conceptual. What options are available out there for the city to possibly consider, and that's really where the city is at this point in time. Just evaluating what other towns are doing, and then taking a look at whether this may or may not be advantageous for Asbury Park to reconsider. As you may recall that there was a police director position in Asbury Park a number of years ago, and no longer, just a police chief for a number of years now. But other towns, there are a number of other towns that do have a public safety director, including Long Branch and some others in vicinity. So we're taking a look at all options.
Thank you.
Hi, Green Morano, 8th Avenue. The last meeting we had here, we invited in the affordable housing people when we were having a meeting about 1201 Memorial Drive, and it was all about the driveways. I'd like to know why they were invited in, and they took up all that time to talk about affordable housing, and nobody's against it. Everybody was talking about parking and driveways. That's one thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that we did have a safety director, we had many. And it just, I don't know what happened, because we don't get too involved with the police department, but it never worked out. People that came and worked here, but it wasn't feasible. And we're hiring all these people now on high salaries. I don't know how we can afford it. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the capital ordinance. I happened to be looking through my papers and I found it at 84, up to 24 and 25. Did that pass? I'd like to know if it passed. Because on my, the ordinance, but that doesn't say anybody voted or anything.
Rita, are you talking about the one that's on tonight's agenda or past?
It can.
It's capital, there's an ordinance on tonight, you're talking about that one or a past?
I'm talking about the most recent one.
The most recent one is the one on tonight's agenda.
The one that 3.5?
I think she's talking about the cafe ordinance or.
Yes.
Oh, capital, capital.
Did that pass?
That was last meeting.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was last meeting, but I don't remember.
It's a common occurrence.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to say is, when we're talking about 1201, we could talk about 201 Kingsley, the 90 apartments there. I mean, you have to stop this stuff. It's not good for the community. There's too many people coming in here with no parking. And the other thing I wanted to say is, why don't you find him a piece of land? I mean, they do these deals. Swap a piece of land that he wants, same size, and let him leave that land alone. 1201, that's commercial zoning, and it should stay that way. So, I mean, you gotta think out of the box with these people, because they're a lot smarter than you think they are. And I think that would be a good idea, find him another location, he'd love it. If you could get a better location than the railroad tracks. Why don't you try that? Talk to these people. Because that is not the proper place for that building.
Okay, so you finish your,
Well, that's what I want to say. Why don't you do that?
okay,
That's an idea.
okay. The city virtually owns no land close to that size. The gentleman bought it from the state, which is a story in itself, where we went out to auction, and we tried to find out good, because it was owned by the state, so we weren't getting tax revenue off of it. And we kept on asking the state, when are you going to sell this? Well, we'll negotiate with the highest bidder. I was thinking, wait a second, it was a public auction. I didn't negotiate with the highest bidder. So finally, Mr. Jamal bought it, and we're back on the tax rolls as first the building and the land, not just the land. That's what he bought, that's where he wants to build. If we have no piece of property of that size that we own or control, that we could say, go somewhere else.
You don't have one?
We have no land whatsoever,
No.
any size.
Well, that's good anyway. I mean,
Okay, yep.
He doesn't have to build there, because that's going to ruin 3 neighborhoods, 3 blocks.
Okay, thank you.
You gotta stop these high, multiple dwellings. You're gonna get one on,
Okay,
First
Rita.
101.
I'm just gonna talk briefly about the affordable housing. We absolutely did have people come to the microphone asking what the city was getting in 1201, and we said a 20% set aside on affordable housing. One of the ways that municipalities, good, bad, or indifferent, you can agree or not, is get affordable housing is they increase density. So that's how it's tied to the project. So there was an increase in density for the 20% affordable units, 20 or 30, whatever it was, 20 or 30 units. I'm gonna be wrong on the number of units. So that's how it tied into that project. But we did have people asking about density and affordable housing. We have people asking about traffic calming measures and micro-mobility. So James, in the next month or two, is gonna come talk about that. You know, if people come and ask questions that we can do presentations on, we generally try to do presentations on it.
Yeah, but it wasn't appropriate that night, because they were all upset with that honking and drumming.
Okay.
They got like a hit mile up there. That's not fair.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sound like the poet, 1709 Henry Street. I'd like to say the Mercy Center, they're looking to expand their property. I've always been in Asbury, part of when Catholics were giving out food on Lake Avenue. I've always been a part of people giving away food, but they asked me to come here and speak about what they do in this community. They feed a lot of people. I know a lot of people come from other towns just to get food from them. And they're a very good organization, the Mercy Center. So if y'all can find a way to expand, because what they do over there is priceless. I mean, so many people, and you see, just drive by there, you see the lines of people out there getting food, all types of families. And if y'all could help them expand, then that'd be a beautiful thing, because without them, a lot of people will go hungry. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, but I got to disagree with you. Because you said they're a very good organization. They're not that, they're a great organization.
Okay.
And just so, the caveat, when the vote comes up tonight, I'm a yes vote for it. And what they've done the last several years as far as expanding, and what we used to do in Kiddingville, I believe the exact numbers, but I'm saying we used to do X and now we're doing 50 times X. So it's a great organization. They have a total support. I'm sure they're going to get positive vote tonight. I can't think of anybody in this town that can say anything bad about the Mercy Center. Thank you for coming tonight and supporting that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See nobody else wants to close?
Here now on to the minutes. I have executive meeting minutes, regular minutes for June 26th.
Move it. Second?
Councilmember Benedict.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. Mayor.
Yes.
Here now on to the consent agenda resolutions. All matters are listed on the consent agenda are presented collectively to the city council and will be considered for approval with one vote. These matters are considered to be routine in nature and there will be no individual discussion on these items. Discussion is desired by one or more council members as to any particular item. The said item shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately on the consent agenda tonight in resolutions 2024-349 and 2024-350, which includes the appointment to the Sunset Lake Commission, Diane Pettit as alternative member number 2 with the term to expire January 15th, 2026. Do I have a motion? Councilmember Benedict.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
We're now on to individual resolutions. Resolution 2024-353, resolution approving payment of bills.
Move it. Second?
Councilmember Benedict.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-354, resolution authorizing the repairs of influent pump number 2 at the wastewater treatment plant. The motion.
Move it. Second?
Councilmember Benedict.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-355, resolution authorizing professional services to Rogers Group for online police training. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second?
Councilmember Benedict.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
No.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
No.
Resolution 2024-356, resolution approving change order number 5 for the new firehouse headquarters.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-357, resolution authorizing the submission of an application to New Jersey Urban Enterprise Zone Authority to fund an outside consultant to develop a 5-year preliminary zone development plan.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-358, resolution authorizing and approving the submittal of a grant application to execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Langford Street roadway improvements phase 1 project.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez
Yes.
Anderson. Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-359, resolution authorizing and approving submittal of a grant application to execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the City of Asbury Park Transportation Center canopy repairs. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Abstain.
Resolution 2024-360 is a full suspension. So we're moving on to resolution 2024-361. Resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Asbury Park acting as a redevelopment entity, authorizing a temporary cellular installation in the northeast corner of block 4306, lots 1 and 2, 6095 Kingsley Street, within the waterfront redevelopment. Do you have a second?
Second.
Question. Did we find out?
know. This is just one. And this
One
is on
inside.
Starfield.
This is, okay.
Yes. Inside of us.
Yes.
I'm sorry, inside.
From Starfield. So,
Starfield property. It's not on city property. Correct.
yeah, because the other one, the other question about being on
Right.
city property.
It was taken out.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-362, resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of agreement with participating entities for the Asbury Park Micro Deployment, improving the issuance of a special event permit relating to the event.
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-363, resolution authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to the employment agreement with the deputy city manager.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-364, resolution of the mayor and the city council of Asbury Park authorizing the city of Asbury Park to enter into a land development agreement with Menace and Asbury Retail LLC, construction of restrooms on 8 acre lots 1.07 and 1.14, block 4502.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Abstain.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
We're now on to ordinances for introduction. Ordinance 2024-25, ordinance establishing a restricted parking space for the use by handicapped person in the city of Asbury Park, amending and supplementing section 7-36 entitled handicap parking of chapter 7 traffic, the revised general ordinances of the city of Asbury Park, New Jersey, for the public hearing date of July 31st, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Ordinance 2024-26, ordinance providing the acquisition of various vehicles and capital equipment appropriating $3,975,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of $3,776,250 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost of the authorized in by the city of Asbury Park, the county of Monmouth, New Jersey, for the public hearing date of July 31st, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
We're now on to ordinances up for second reading of the hearing. Ordinance amending ordinance 2024-24, ordinance ordinance amending the Main Street redevelopment plan. Do I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment on ordinance 2024-24?
Second.
Beth will make the presentation, so.
Hi, everybody, Beth McManus, just for the record. This redevelopment plan amendment is specific to, first is the Main Street redevelopment plan, but it's specific to block 2805, block 17, and that's the site that hosts the existing Mercy Center. And the redevelopment plan is proposed for amendment to add a new permitted use, specifically soup kitchens and food pantries, which is exactly the Mercy Center use. The purpose of the redevelopment plan is to allow the Mercy Center to redevelop their property to improve their existing facility. However, because the use is not permitted, doing so would violate the redevelopment plan. And so this redevelopment plan simply permits the use on that very specific property. In addition to that, it also has a couple of or a handful of site-specific requirements, such as a parking requirement that is suitable for a soup kitchen and a food pantry, and it also adds specific zoning and design regulations to ensure that the development of the Mercy Center is done in a way that's compatible with the Main Street redevelopment plan and the character that the city seeks to have along Main Street. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Move it second. All in favor? Public comment on ordinance 2024-24 is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Your comments can only be about ordinance 2024-24.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kim Budano. I'm the Executive Director of Mercy Center on 1106 Main Street, which is the subject of the ordinance. I want to first begin by introducing the chairman of my board, Judge Mary Kay Cuff, and a member of my board, Miriam Tort, right here, and then also the member of the FRC, which is a key aspect of what we do over on Main Street, Veronica Gilbert Tyson, sorry, Veronica, I do that all the time. And I also want to thank you, a client, for coming in and speaking in favor of it. I also want to point out we have a number of volunteers in the room. I don't need to tell this board the importance of food security. Asbury Park is considered a food desert. I know that's hard to believe, but what that really means is that 13% of the population of Asbury Park will go to bed tonight not knowing where the next meal is coming from. That's roughly 2,000 people. Today, in that pantry, we served 143 families. Today. Over the last year, we served 100,000 people. That is a 3,000% increase over 2 years ago and a 200% increase over last year. So when we go and when we speak to you about the need to change what we're doing in Asbury Park, Mercy Center is a key part of that aspect, of that goal. For many years, the local food pantry served and still serves as a vital lifeline to the people of this community. We are the only pantry open 5 days a week in this part of the county. And we are the only pantry who is ensuring that the people of Asbury Park get the food they need in order to survive. That's just one aspect of what we do. If you can't think straight because you're hungry and you're sending your kids home hungry at night, well, then you can't do the rest of it. And we do the rest of it. Our idea is to end generational poverty in the greater Asbury Park area. We do it with the people that work with Veronica. We have 15 licensed social workers and advocates. They speak English, Spanish, Arabic, and Creole. And they serve the community by giving them a chance to live full lives. But if you don't have a full stomach, you're not going to live a full life. And then we end the cycle of poverty by what we do over on Springwood Avenue, the 4th to 8th grade school for girls called Sisters Academy. It is imperative that we upgrade our facilities here. We simply have run out of space. And I briefly know that we're going to turn the clock on. Awesome, I'll go on for 2 hours.
Very well.
I was kind of going fast, but I kind of reading the bench and I get a feeling that this is going in the right direction. But I do want you to imagine what it would be if we had to close this pantry right now. Imagine what it would be like for any of those families who went this morning and knocked on the door and had the guts to ask for help. It's not an easy thing to do. And what we're going to do is build a facility that is dignified, that is stigma-free, that is welcoming and open, and it lets people get the food that they need in order to live full lives. And we're going to do that by changing the Main Street redevelopment plan in a way that allows us to have a pantry that's, by the way, existed here for almost 40 years. I also want to add a couple of things. We've talked to our neighbors in response to our meeting with the planning board. Kelly Victor from Arbar has sent me an email. My name is Kelly Victor, and I'm one of the owners of Arbar, located at 1114 Main Street, which is our immediate neighbor on Main Street. I'm unable to attend the scheduled city hearing pertaining to Mercy Center as it conflicts with my hours of operation. However, I'm sending this letter in my place to the council so that they know that I reviewed the Mercy Center plans. As their immediate neighbor, I'm in full support of them moving forward with removing the current structures and replacing them with a 3-story modern building. We look forward to enhancing the appearance of North Main Street and contributing to the revitalization of town Asbury Park. I also just received a text from our immediate neighbor in the residential part of it on 3rd Avenue. And it's, they asked me to read it, Susan and Kevin. They asked me to read it. They are, we're sorry we cannot attend tonight's meeting to speak to the board directly regarding Mercy Center. Thank you for reading this during tonight's meeting on our behalf. We are Kevin and Susan D'Angelo. We live at 713 3rd Avenue, directly next to Mercy Center. The work, time, and effort of the staff, as well as the volunteers at Mercy Center, is greatly appreciated by us and the local community. Many of our neighbors are clients. The center does an outstanding job. The organization of the food deliveries, clients visiting the pantry, counselors, and other services, and making sure clients are taken care of and treated with respect is to be commended. The cleanliness of the overall site is greatly appreciated. Kim, Tracy, the staff, and the volunteers do an excellent job managing the overall pantry and making sure the outside is kept clean and safe for all those coming and going. The food pantry is a blessing to those who are less fortunate and rely on it week after week. We have noticed an increase in the amount of clients that have come through the pantry over the past several years. The proposed reconstruction is going to be a big benefit for the center and their operations by improving efficiency and in delivering their quality services to their clients. The proposed single-story portion of the adjacent to our property will improve the corner of the site as vehicles will enter the property and park internally. It will eliminate the congestion of people that happens during non-business hours. Being able to have all services provided within a single building will be a large step up for them. We are in favor of their proposed reconstruction and look forward to seeing this further develop. We also wish the Mercy Center continued success with all they do. I thought that was important for the record, especially because the planning board specifically asked the question about what our neighbors thought about the project. I'm going to end very briefly with a quick thank you to the board. This has taken about a year, but that's the process. So I'm not complaining about the process, but it could never have happened without Beth McManus helping shuffling all of this through. And I hope that tonight you vote in favor of helping the people of this community, not just today and not just tomorrow, but for decades into the future. That's what you're doing tonight, especially all right, thanks, and the rest of the city staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't get fired.
I don't have to tell you about what you listen to us. Severe, you already said, it's a great organization. What I want to say is that I am thinking at the Mercy Center, serving at the Mercy Center next month will be 28 years. And I would like to tell you, even though the organization is no longer run by a Sister of Mercy, we continue to serve and to support our community with the values and the goals, values and the traditions of the Sister of Mercy. I drove that up this morning and I came up to the building and I looked at the people in the line. There were people, babies, there were different ethnic groups, and it broke my heart. People were like sad, there were smiles, and you wonder, is this what the Sister of Mercy how we want to serve the people, the poor, the underprivileged, and the victim. We need to serve them with dignity, with respect, with compassion. And I do believe that having a new building would allow us to do this. People would not have to be lining up, feeling embarrassed, ashamed to be standing there for food. People or victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual violence will not be hesitant to come and seek services because there will be privacy and security. Other family members seeking services would come more regularly because of the privacy. And we need to continue to operate in the traditions of the systems. And we can only do that if we enhance our building. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
No one else I see. Motion to close public hearing on ordinance 2024-24. Do I have all? Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-24? Councilmember Mendes?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn? Mayor Moore?
Yes.
If that is all for tonight, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? All in favor?
What are these? What's the name?
With the street.
I just want to live there. What is it?
Grant request. We're here to grant application First but no, this would be the west side versus south side. Prospect.
Gotcha.
And then,